Hello, hello. My name is Allison coming to you from Portland, Oregon. I'm a hypnotherapist here in Portland, and I will be reading from one of my sessions. This session was a really cool session that took place in, I believe, May of 2022. So just a few months ago from the date that I'm recording it. And it was with a lovely gentleman who is a chiropractor, and he owns his own chiropractic business, and he works alongside his wife in his business. And during 2020 and the lockdowns that we experienced, he had to do quite a lot of adjustments there to make sure his staff was okay, to make sure everything was running well. They actually started changing things and doing some expansion. And then all of a sudden, things kind of shifted for him. And he kind of lost his momentum with wanting to do the expansion of his business. During the actual lockdown, he started doing remote sessions with people. Now, he's a chiropractor, so he's used to having hands on. But what started coming through him was an ability to make adjustments to people, to patients remotely. Fascinating stuff. He's an amazing man. Him and his wife have worked really hard to build kind of this beautiful food forest around them in their property. And he has a great session. So I will be reading both parts. I'll be reading my questions that I'm asking him as he's going along his journey, and I'll be reading his responses just so you guys know what I'm doing. I'm not. Yes, now you know what I'm doing for all of you newbies out there who don't know. Okay, so after the induction, it opens up like this with him saying, "It looks like I'm in space, looking down at the earth. I'm moving. It feels like I'm moving pretty fast, but I'm staying in one place. I just feel so much swirling and energy and movement, and I'm staying in one place, like looking at the earth. There's so much energy coming through my body." Wow, that sounds amazing. Tell me about your body in this place. Do you feel like you're more energetic, or do you still have some semblance of physicality to you? I feel like it's energy. It's just energy moving, vibrating. What do you feel from that energy that's moving through and around you? Familiar. It's like home. It's so much less dense. It's fast. I don't know how to explain it. It's like uncomfortable and comfortable at the same time. There's no body. Does this energy have a color to it? I just see blackness. It's just void, dark. What do you feel that this energy is doing to you? Do you feel like it's informing you or altering you in any way? It's such high energy that my whole body is just shaking. It's feeling so many things at one time. It's like home and excitement and like anxiety. It's giving pulses of energy, just swirling so fast, yet there's a stillness and a quietness. And it's like both at the same time. It's very interesting. Let's go ahead and have you absorb as much of this energy as you possibly can. We want you brimming with it. Wow, that's amazing. Something shifted. It feels more calm and relaxed and expansive. It feels like so big, like galaxy big, so expansive. It feels like I am the galaxy in a way, and I keep seeing an image of Earth. It's all void and all black, and then there's Earth, and it's bright and shiny and just keeps popping up. And there's a void around everything else. It's black. When you feel like you're in a good spot, which it almost sounds like you are, let's go ahead and move closer to this image of Earth. And we're not going to go right down to the actual surface. Let's remain in this higher perspective for a little while and move around. So there's a brightness that is around the Earth, a white light that's emanating from the planet that looks different than how you would see it from space. It's glowing in a sense, white, shimmery light just coming off the planet. It looks beautiful. It's rich. It's so bright. And it's not on the planet, it's off the planet. It looks like it's from in space. It's surrounding the planet, a shimmering white light. Beautiful. Let's see if you can move towards that white light and still remain at this higher level of perspective. Let me know if you can actually touch or be immersed in that white light. There's so much energy. It's super high vibrational energy. I just feel amazing. I feel expansive. I feel powerful. How is that energy different from the energy a little further up that you were attuning to earlier? It feels more intense. It's more dense, but it's the same type of energy. It's just less expanded. It's more concentrated, consolidated. It's not heavier, it's just more dense. Okay, let's move closer when you're ready. I can't go any farther. Outside of the earth, when I try to go further, there's a block. It's like a shield. Well, the cool thing about being energy and not having a physical body is you can actually permeate that kind of stuff. Don't worry, it may just take a couple minutes of adjustment, but you can get through and you can actually communicate with that energy if you'd like and ask them what you need to do to get through. Okay, I'm squeezing through a hole like I'm liquid just coming through. So half of me is out and half of me is in, and it feels like I'm inside the atmosphere now. Okay, what does it feel like now that you're in the atmosphere itself? It feels more liquidy, like water. I feel like water floating around, almost like a plasma type energy. It feels very different, but the same high energy frequency is still there. What does this seem to be doing to your energetic body? Has your body shifted or changed at all? It feels like I'm a ball of water that has a membrane around it, and I'm just swishing around back and forth, just inside the Earth's atmosphere, but up in the clouds and floating around, hanging out up there. Okay, and now we're going to travel around the Earth, paying attention to things that may have shifted or changed, what you would expect to see versus what you are seeing. Well, I see burning, like places that are scorched and then other places that are very different. There's little patterns all over the planet with different scenarios. There are little pockets of very wet areas. Some are burnt and scorched. It looks like little circles around the planet of different scenarios. Okay, let's go to an area that you're familiar with. That could be an area you visited or an area that you're from. I just I just get that I'm not from here. Interesting. Okay, let's travel around the land, knowing what is North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, all of these different places. Well, it's empty. I don't see people. I just see different landscapes. It's very quiet. It's almost like something already happened in these different areas, and I don't see any people. I don't see any animals. Do you see any physical structures or remainders of what used to be? Or is it pre human, pre animal Earth, preparing to host life? No, I feel like it's later. What's giving you that impression? It's just a feeling. Okay, let's keep traveling over the surface once again. I'm just curious. Do you see any remainders or signs that humans were there? Nothing. It's just so quiet. It's so quiet and still. Does any certain place that you're viewing call your attention to it? Yes, I want to go inside the earth. Okay, let's do it. You're just energy. You can travel. Wow, it is so different. There's so much life and energy and beings, and it's completely different than it is on the outside. It's full of life. There's joy, there's singing, there's golden light everywhere. It's so rich. It's the complete opposite of what I just saw on the surface. And these beings that you're seeing down here, would you say that they're human or non-human, some of them? I don't know. There's individual beings, but it's almost like they're all connected in a way. I don't see them as human or alien. There are beings and they're all connected. It's like a beehive mentality. They're all just moving as one in a sense. And I don't know if that's literal or not, but there's a cohesion. Everything's working together in perfect harmony. It doesn't feel like they're separate, yet they are. They seem smaller, but I can't see a face necessarily. And there's different types too. There's different shapes and different sizes, but the majority of these beings are smaller than what I would normally consider human. What is their community like? Do they have different cities or one big community? It looks like one big community, like a giant cabin, and it's all lit up. And there's just so much joy and life and energy. And there's this golden light that permeates through the whole space. It's so alive. It's beautiful. Tell me about the light that permeates the space. It doesn't seem like it comes from a central source. Everything is lit up within the cavern, the walls, everything is just a golden energy. It's not very bright. And I can't tell if it's a light source or if it's just an energetic golden light, but it's joyful. It feels so nice. It's so supportive. I would love to be down there. Beautiful. Is there any vegetation down there? What I see is on the ground, there's vegetation. I don't see trees. It's just small plants that almost look like ferns on the ground and on the walls. Oh, wait, there's more. Wow. Down a different cavern, it opens up and there's rivers and it's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful forest that I've ever seen. It's breathing, it's conscious. I can't describe it other than it's alive in a way that I've never seen before. It breathes. I can see it breathing. It's like all is one. Tell me about the colors down there. I'm curious if there are different shades or different colors that you've never seen before, or if they all seem familiar to you. The colors and the shades seem familiar. There's a light bluish color that I've never seen in plants before, like almost a dim fluorescent blue coming off some of the plants. They just seem alive in a way that I can't describe. They're awake, they're aware. It's just amazing to look at, to watch it. Besides the blue, it doesn't seem the same brightness. The golden color isn't as much in that room. It's almost like more of a darker forest, but the luminescent blue just stands out. It's so interesting. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something that might sound a little strange, but I'd like you to pick someone, one of these beings, somebody who feels comfortable and approachable, and we're going to pick one of these beings and communicate with them. Yes, I found one. Good. Tell me about this being. Well, they look like wood elves, like 3, maybe 4 feet tall. This person has a beard and they're not with the rest of the group. They're in the forest. They're alone out there, and I feel like they're tending to the forest or they're away from the rest of the group. Ooh, that sounds perfect. All right, let's see if they'd be willing to communicate with us. You can reach out and ask them. Yeah, it's telepathic. Good. We can ask them first about this place, or we can ask them about what happened on the top side of Earth. You can pick. It said we needed to come here, but we've been here for a long time. Who is the we that he's referring to? It's our people. Our people had to come here, but we've been here. I don't understand what that means. Okay, why did they come here? Let's ask him that. He says we were forced to be here. We didn't have a choice. This is where we needed to create our new home. We're not from here. Oh, I see. What forced them to come here? Chaos, pain. I can feel it. It's not good. destruction. I see a planet exploding. It's really intense. Oh, I'm so sorry they lost their planet. I'm so sorry. He said, "We're happy here. We're happy here. This is our home now." I'm glad they found a new home. How long have they been there? He said, "Just thousands of years. They've been waiting for me for a long time to come visit." Who are you to them? You can ask them that. He says, "I'm a friend, and they've known me for a long time. I'm not part of their culture, but I'm a longtime friend." Good. I'm glad you guys are having a reunion now. But what else would he like you to know? He said it's not safe to be here. I don't know if that's here on the planet. I don't know what that means. Well, let's ask him what he means by that. There's other beings here that don't want me to be here. They're scared. What do they think will happen if you're there? That I'm going to bring others there and their place won't be as safe and it'll be exposed. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to bring other people here. They're very concerned about it. Okay, let's go ahead and assure him that nobody's with you, that you're just there energetically, you're not there physically, they're safe. The being I'm talking to isn't scared, but he's telling me that the other ones are very, very scared that I'm here. It brings up trauma from the past. It's the same energy that I was feeling. They're scared. Okay, let's ask him if he's willing to keep talking for a little while longer as you're just there energetically. It's what we call astral travel. You're not really there, not physically there. They're still protected. They always will be. They've been, he's been, they're waiting for me. I'm supposed to create something with them. It's something to do with this forest. There's something there for me to create or to add, to bring balance to. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, well, let's go ahead and actually center yourself. Ground yourself in that forest right now. Go ahead and make sure that you're touching the ground. Oh, I'm connected to all of them at one time, all of the plant beings there. I can feel them. I can sense them. It's like we're not separate. Good. And let's go ahead and communicate with the plant beings and ask them what they need from you today. They want to shift. They want to bring more energy and they want to transform. They want to illuminate to a higher expression. When they say what they want, this desire to level up, if you will, how does that make you feel? I'm so happy. Their energy is so calm and fluid and relaxing. It's a beautiful state. I feel so much joy to be a part of it, just to even sit in this and be connected in this way. I can sit here for days, just breathing with them. My energy and their energy combines in a way where we both benefit. It redirects their energy. It's co-creation. We're both benefiting from each other. I can see the patterns change. I can see illumination in the plants, and they're growing taller and they're expanding and they're becoming more bright. It's a higher frequency. They need more light. They need more energy. They're ready to move forward and they're not at the same state as the rest of the beings in there. It's almost like they're left behind or they're not able to evolve in a way that they need to. It feels like it ties back to the fear of not bringing other people down there. There's something out of balance here. What would you like to do to help them become more in balance? Besides what you're doing right now, is there anything else that you can do? That's all that's needed is to share our energy and stand with each other. I just need to be here with them. So the thing that they're most afraid of will actually help them. And I'm not talking to the plants, but the other creatures, the other beings. Yeah, it's for their benefit. Interesting how that works. It's going to help them evolve too, but they're scared. They're keeping everything safe and contained, and it's beautiful the way it is, but it's time to move forward. I'm curious if your friend would like to answer questions about what happened to the surface of Earth. He said he doesn't want to talk about it. What does he feel when he thinks about it? What does it bring up for him? He says, I have to be strong. I feel like he's important to this group and that there's something there, but I don't understand. It doesn't feel painful, but there's something there. Okay, let's briefly explain to him who we are. That may help. Let's let him know that we actually are coming from a time and place where we live on the surface of the earth. We operate on the surface of the earth in the second millennia. We're here now living this human life. And we're curious why, when we go into this state, we actually see the earth burning or also lots of water on the earth and no one is there. And we're just curious, being that we're from that area, what could have happened? He's thinking, he's like, can I trust you? It's like, this must be a big deal. And he said, everything changed. The energies and the frequencies in the universe changed, and it changed the planet and the surface of this planet. And I see energy and different frequencies of light coming in at different places of the earth, having different effects, almost like beams of energy or light coming through and hitting the planet really intensely in some places. And in other places, it's very different. But the whole energy of the earth changed on the outside, and it was really destructive. What happened to all of the beings that were on the surface of the planet? They changed or moved on. When he says changed, what is he referring to? Some evolved, some didn't make it, some left to other places. It's not habitable on the outside anymore. It's not safe up there. The energy and the frequencies are sporadic. Even if you find a place that's fine, it can shift quickly. It's not stable. It's recalibrating. It sure does sound like it. Does he know, or can he tell us where the beings that left evolved to? They went to various places. There's a planet. He said many of them went to this other planet. I can see it. They're more light. They're not in the physical body. I can see the planet and I can see these beings there, and they're made out of light. They went various different places, but a lot of them went to this new planet in a light body. Beautiful. And what did they experience when this kind of shift happened? There's various different experiences. Depends on their state of consciousness and what they expected to happen. It's very different here. It's almost like they're recalibrating to this new world. It's not quite familiar to them yet. And it's so different. But they realize what happened and they're just getting used to this new life. Very good. I know they're kind of quarantining out of fear more than anything, but do they ever have contact with off-world beings in this underground place? We prefer not to, is what they say. We just like to be really in our own little space where we're happy here. We've made it work. We don't want things to change. Most of them don't want things to change. This being here is ready for things to change, but the others aren't ready. Yeah, they've been through a lot, haven't they? It's nice to have some safety and stability for a little while, I'm sure. But he says he knows it has to change. He knows that something needs to shift. So, will this energy that you're bringing allow for that shift to take place in a safe and easy manner, or is there something else that they need? They need a change in consciousness. They need to bring in more light, more energy in this whole place, not just the plants, but the whole group. It needs a shift in consciousness. I don't understand it. They're happy. It's beautiful. It's bright. But there's also something so out of balance. I don't understand it. Well, they've had a lot of trauma, right? And they still have a lot of fear. And it sounds like a shift, a healing, a collective healing needs to take place. Yes. Let's see if there's anything we can do today to start that process. As you're in this form, you have access to a lot of energy, a lot of love. Would he be willing to hold your hand, maybe even both, and be a conduit for that love and that healing energy to come down to this place and into his people? Yes, they need the creativity. They need the expansion. They need the opening so they can move forward, not stuck in this energy of fear anymore. It's holding them back. So let's see if we can help relieve them of some of this fear, some of the survival that they're caught up in, so that they can move up to the upper chakras of creativity and expansion and love and truth. What happens when you connect to them? The energy starts moving. The whole place is not just lighting up, but it's changing in frequency. And then when that changes, the things within it change. It's so quick. It's like all we have to do is be in that creative openness and everything will change. I'm showing him what it looks like. It's a higher frequency. It changes the planet in some way. It helps stabilize the field of the earth. If we can keep raising this energy and this vibration, the atmosphere will be protected and the energy wouldn't be acting on the surface in that way. It's restoring the planet from the inside out. Beautiful. And that's how it all works, isn't it? The inside out. And in this state, there is no time. So, what seemingly would take eons, what you would think would take hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years, can flash by quickly. It's so clear that no time is needed. It's just all we have to do is hold that frequency. Okay, let's make sure that they can hold that frequency without you there. Let's make sure they get to a point where they can do that before we leave. Yes, he knows the frequency. He knows it's infused there. It's already shifting. Beautiful. I'd like to ask him a quick question about when this energy started to hit the earth. Was there a specific event or a catalyst, or was it a slow build? It was massive amounts of energy that built and built. It built up at first, but then it was like an explosion of energy through the cosmos, and it affected many planets. I can see it. It's that glow that's still on the earth. When that energy was coming in, it offset everything, and now it's restabilizing. But when it reset to the higher octave, even though it looks destructive, it's an upgrade. It's a frequency shift. It's for the benefit of the planet. Beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like us to know, whether it's about that or about this place or about your connection to them? He just says, "We were waiting for you for so long." He's just so happy that this is happening. We've been waiting for so long. It's like he's a wise elder in this group, and he's able to see a higher perspective and he's wanting to guide and lead them. They need that. They need the energy. They need to see it. They need to have tangible proof that that it's possible. It can't just be an idea. They need the light. That's it. Beautiful. And does he feel it's necessary for you to come back to this place? No, it's in motion now. The seed has been planted. They'll be able to see it now. The other people don't want me there. It's too scary for them. They want me to leave. All right, very good. And when you're ready, let's do just that. Let's thank him for all the help and information he's given us today. And let's go traveling up again, up to the surface of the planet. I've seen this before. I've seen this. It's so bright, but it's not blinding to the eyes. But it's almost like everything is white light. The whole atmosphere down to the planet is just so bright. Everything is so bright and shiny. And I see people walking around. So there's people back, huh? Yeah, it's different here now. Everything is healed. Beautiful. And what type of communities do people make? It looks natural. I see houses that look like they're part of the environment. It's not like what I'm used to. It's synchronized with the environment. It looks like little hobbit houses, and there's so much white light. I'm seeing images of it, but I'm not actually seeing it. I don't know how to describe that. I see what their houses look like, but I'm not actually looking at their houses. It's almost like a cloud that you're walking through when you get close enough and you can see things, but you can't see very far because the light is just so bright. What does that light feel like? It's soothing and amazing, healing. It's like everything is just bright and light and joyful and clear. What do people seem to be doing with their time? I don't know. I see the people walking around and everything's very slow and thoughtful, but I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. Okay, let's go and talk to someone. Pick another person that seems approachable. Okay, I introduce myself and they're asking me why I'm here. And I said, I don't know. Okay. And she's kind of confused about why I'm here. All right, let's go ahead and tell her the truth. Let's let her know we're actually viewing this from 2022 on Earth through a hypnosis session and that we'd like to ask her some questions today. Okay, she seems more open. And I know, even though that sounds weird, it seems to be exactly what they need to know sometimes. So let's go ahead and ask her what she experienced between 2022 and where she is right now, if she'd be willing to tell us. She says she has no memory of that time frame, that this is how they've been living. She's confused that I'm asking about a time date. She's like, what do you mean? We've been here a long time. We've been doing this. Okay, interesting. I've come across this before. All right, what is her first memory, if she would be willing to answer that question? Just like as a child playing in the field and free and going through the flowers and fields and just being in a state of joy. That's what she shows me. Very good. Has she ever met anybody who didn't grow up here? No. Okay. Is she aware of what Earth used to be like? She says no, but there's something there. There's something that she's hiding. She said she knows from her own intuition it's not discussed, but she knows something. They're not supposed to talk about it. It's like leaving the past behind. But there was something that happened and we're just not supposed to talk about it. Okay, I can understand not wanting to visit the past for the sake of moving forward and maintaining a vibrational level that's needed in this new place. But what if she was willing to share some of the past with us so that we could also raise our vibration? Yeah, she's very willing. She's saying that we were brought here a long time ago and that we are not supposed to talk about it, that we just let everything else go. But we were brought here. We were seated here from a different place. Does she know anything about the place where they came from? She was born here, but she has memories of where she came from. She shows me images of a place, and I see structures that are iridescent energy. She said we came from a much higher energetic place, but we were seated here. We were supposed to be here. We're supposed to infuse this place with light and joy. And she said if we remembered where we came from, we would want to go back there. And that's why we're supposed to keep quiet about it. We're here on the mission. If we knew where we came from, we would all want to go back because that where we came from is even more amazing. I see the structures and the building and it's crystalline light and it's iridescent gemstone. I mean, just the most beautiful architecture I've ever seen. Really high energy. Okay, and tell me about what's outside of the architecture. What does the land or the place look like? A lot of the land is white, like white sand and white dirt, and just incredible. Is there any vegetation? I don't see any vegetation. The buildings are iridescent and the land is white and it's beautiful. I can just walk around this place forever. Just walking around, it's miraculous. I'm curious what people do with their time in this place. How is their time spent? I see people working with energy and balls of energy. They're manipulating it and they're making stuff out of pure energy. It's anything they need. They just make it. And I see them holding energy and then it forms into whatever they need. There are no limitations. Everyone is in perfect health. It's super high vibration. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and approach someone at this place where she came from. Wow. Even when I get close to them, it's just like such a radiant energy. And it's so intensely beautiful. I feel so welcomed and supported and loved, and they're glowing. Would they be willing to talk with us today? Sure. Wonderful. Let's ask them where this place exists. It says we are fifth dimensional, and we have beings that are seventh dimensional here also. So we have from fifth to seventh dimensions. We all exist here. We are in different planes of energy. Beautiful. We're working together with light. That's our mission, is to increase the quotient of light. That's what we do. It's all about light. And does this place have a name? I want to say, but I can't pronounce it. Okay. They said that they sent people here to see this planet, seed this planet, for with this new energy, the new vibration, the earth has shifted. It's building its light. It's going into the next octave. Beautiful. And let's ask them if they can tell us what happened to Earth. Let's tell them where and when we're from on Earth. They said, I'm in for a wild ride. Okay. They said, it's coming. It's coming soon. Let's ask them to kind of walk us through a little bit, as this information can help people prepare and wake more people up. They're very excited to discuss this information. That energy is a lot more intensified. And they said that the energy is going to increase and increase and increase. And then finally, there will be a big release that comes through the cosmos and just changes everything. They said, you're ready. And many people may be ready. It's that they said everyone's going to have a different experience depending on where their state is. It's all about your state of consciousness, your state of being. That's how it will affect you. The more light you can hold, the easier it's going to be. And if you can't hold a certain level of light, then you'll be taken. You won't be here. You will have to go somewhere else. It's happening soon. Oh, there's so much excitement. It's happening soon. So what do they see? You said there was this big release, right? What will people on the ground level of Earth experience during this big release? Do they see it as lights or sounds or an energetic feeling? Or is it different for each individual? What do they experience? It's different all over the planet. I see the burning, like in the places that can't hold the light, it burns. But then in other places, it transforms, it expands. It's different in every place. Very good. And what happens to the people who can hold the light? What do they experience? They're good. The highest joy and excitement and rejuvenation that they can ever imagine. That's what they want to show me. It's just so beautiful. This is everything. This is the pinnacle. This is where all of your focus should be, is holding the highest levels of light. Like this is your mission. Now, this is what everyone should be focusing on now. It's coming soon. They can only say soon, and I can feel the excitement, but it's so close. This is the time to focus on the light. This is your last chance. This is people's last chance to wake up to what's happening. So after this light hits and these awake beings are able to hold the light and experience this joy and amazement, what will happen then? How does it unfold from that? Then the whole planet recalibrates and re-energizes and changes its state to a whole new existence. And then people will come back here. They will repopulate. It'll be a new beginning. Does every being leave the earth eventually? They say yes and no. The ones that stay here will change their body. Their body will have to change in such a way that will allow them to stay here. Their body will be made more of light. It's less dense, but it's still a body. It's just a very different expression of it. It's a different form. There's not going to be that many that can do this. It's a huge thing to undergo and to be open to that and to make this leap. It's so big. Like we've gone through this. Like it's so intense. What kind of abilities come forth for human beings who are able to stay? He said their bodies need to change, their energy or DNA changes a little bit. What comes out of that? It seems like everything changes. You can do everything. You can move things with your mind. The aging process is different. There's a connection between all the beings in a way that hasn't been experienced in the past. There's an inner knowing. Everything is telepathic. It's just like people walking around totally shocked and then completely excited at the same time. Almost like what happened, almost like what happened? And then like, hell yes. It's like it just happens. And then here we are. But you can feel that it's good. It's an amazing thing. But there's just that shock of like, what just happened? And okay, and this ability that exists on this planet that we're visiting right now to manifest right out of energy, manifest completely, would we be able to do that on that new evolved Earth or no? Of course. Yes, it'll take some time to get used to how things work. They said several years before you even start playing with energy in that way, because so many people are going to just be in that place of shock and amazement that it's going to take several years to even get used to being in a new place. But eventually, pretty quickly, we're going to start working with that. And the beings that they sent here are here to help with this. We sent our family here to help with this. There's going to be a lot of people to help guide and to show people when they're ready. You won't be alone. Very good. Would you like to ask this being anything? I just said, what are we supposed to do now? And then they said, just be you. That is your highest expression of light. Be you. That's it. Do they have any advice for helping get more people prepared for this light? The time to prepare is over. People have already chosen, and it's just a matter of time. Either you're ready or you're not. It's not a question of preparation anymore. It's just the ones that are, and the ones that aren't, they've already chosen. It's so close. I'm curious, when they say it's so close, would they like to show you where you're at when this light hits? For me, it's like, it looks like sunset, and I'm looking over the mountains, and I feel an energy coming from within the planet, like an expansion of light from the core coming outward. I can feel it like a rumbling without the sound. You can feel it in your body. And then I see a pulse of energy coming through the atmosphere and just, wow, wow. Oh man, it's so intense and beautiful at the same time. I can't even speak. Soak it all in. Yes, that's what I'm doing. It's what I've been waiting for so long. That's the energy. It just feels so much closer to home. I just become one with it. For me, it's coming home. Beautiful. And let's view what your family is doing with this energy as it hits. They're crying and it's going through their nervous system and it's releasing stuff. It's joyful, but also I don't know how to describe it. It's moving through their system. It's releasing something. They're being affected differently. They're shaking and it's so intense in their body, especially my partner. It's a lot. It's a lot more than she thought. And how do your boys look? Do they look much older? They look the same as where they're at now. They look the same age. It looks the same as right now. What season does it appear to be? Maybe the end of summer. It's still warm, but it's starting to cool. I would say September. Yeah, September, right around there. Are you able to help your wife? I can't. She's going through a process. It just has to go through. I don't know. She's going to cope with all this energy. I don't know how she's going to do it. It looks like it's really hard. Like I see her on the ground, just on her knees, and it's just as if she's being hit with something and she doesn't know what's happening. She's going through this transition, and the two boys are fine. I see them as light. I see her, and she's doing something different. It's not the same as what's going through her. Do you Do you feel like you can give her a helping hand? I can't. It's like it's her own process right now. I can lay a hand on her, but it doesn't seem to change what the process is. Okay, let's move back to these beings now. What would they like you to know, or what would this being like you to know about what your wife is experiencing and how she could possibly prepare to go through this smoother if needed? She has to let go. She needs to let go. She doesn't quite believe that this is going to happen. Like there's a doubt, there's a resistance there. She has to let go and she has to choose. You can be there and show support, but she has to choose. She hasn't quite decided yet. She's right on the tipping point. Would they like to tell you if there's anything you can say or show her that would help her tip over to one side versus the other, knowing that she has free will to choose either way? They said, show her your strength and your trust and just hold that energy. That's the most supportive thing you can do. Do not be fearful. Just hold the light. Hold the truth. That is all. That's all you can do. Everyone must decide for themselves what they choose and how they will go. It is an individual choice. No one could be forced or coerced or led into anything. They must choose. That is the most important part. And what would they say is the accuracy of the time space where that happens? What you saw as kind of nighttime, warm weather, becoming cooler, your children still the same age. They say 80% chance. It still depends on humanity and what they choose. The energies are fluctuating so much back and forth. There are huge spikes. All people are deciding right now, and it's causing the spikes and the fluctuations of energy. We are individually deciding, but then collectively that adds together, and then it changes how things are. We are creating, we are bringing it in, and people are choosing right now, and they're going back and forth between different choices as they lock in what they're choosing to do. Each individual will have to decide and then let go of what is not in alignment so that our energy and our frequency is choosing clearly. Let go of what is not in alignment so that the energy and the frequency is choosing clearly. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Every time they share that, you can feel it. There's such an excitement around it. It's so exciting for them. They've been waiting for this for so long to happen. Like they're watching and they're rooting us on. It's such a joyous expression. It's like, you're doing this, you got this. I can't even describe that excitement. It's every time they talk about this, it's just buzzing with excitement. What would they like you to know about this transition and your role in it that you may not know yet? First of all, they want me to know that I'm safe and that I'm supported beyond measure. If we knew how infinitely supported we were, we would never doubt. We would never lose trust. We've been conditioned for so long away from source in such a low vibrational state that it's kept us suppressed. It's kept us away from our truth, and it's just not going to continue. The time is here. This is the time. Would they like to continue answering questions today, or do they recommend that we move on to the higher self for the next bits of information? They said there's something that you don't know. They said it's not as it seems. They're saying it's a hologram or it's a projection of consciousness. They're telling me it's not real. They're saying that the things that I've learned to believe, it's all part of the construct. There's a conditioning. It's not a simulation, but it's something else. They said that the thing that matters is the spirit and the light and the connection. All the other things are distortion or ways to confuse. They're saying, focus on why you came here, and more will be revealed to you. The more we are distracted, the more we don't have that connection, But if I stay connected and in this state, everything will be revealed. You don't have to know anything. You just need to be connected. And so stop putting energy outside of this. They said, we're just taking the outside stuff too serious, and it's not as it appears. Perfect. Okay, let's take that one to the next level. How does that pertain to your everyday waking, walking, physical life and what you're supposed to focus your attention on? Say with your work or with your relationships, how do they want you to refocus your attention? It just says your state of being is what matters, nothing else. You, the way you show up. It says be you. Everything else is just not important. You are letting outside forces affect your energy, and it comes from the inside. As long as you are emanating that energy outwards, those things don't affect you. Hold that certain truth, hold a frequency of light that's impenetrable to those other energies. It's the only thing that's needed. Don't pay attention so much to the other pieces because they are going to change. This isn't lasting. This is such a small blip in this conscious evolution. They're saying it's not real, but it's real if you give it attention. So stop giving so much attention to it. Very good. Let's thank them for that help and information. Do they have anything else they wish to add? They send blessings. We are so supported and loved. And if we just knew that, and if we can absorb that and feel that, then we would all be okay. And if we don't feel that, we're going to have a harder time. We are here. You are supported and loved. If you only knew, you would have no fear. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and thank them for the help and information. And we really appreciate this view to what's happening on Earth. And now I'd like to ask for permission to please speak with the higher consciousness. So at this point, I move on to the client's higher consciousness. And as you can tell, it may have been hard to tell. We actually went to 3 different places, even though he basically went there in his mind. Once he met someone and they were talking about the other place, he was able to travel to that place in his mind and see it. So we went to 3 different places in that last portion of the session. And now we're moving on to the higher self. Okay, let's see. All right. Now, I know you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for my client to experience today, but you brought forth this certain lifetime where he was able to travel from place to place, first going into the inner earth when the surface seemed to be scorched and also flooding and a real fluctuation of energy happening. Then he went onto the surface where things had stabilized much further in the future and were being reseeded with this higher vibrational energy. And then off to this other planet where the energy was multidimensional, 5th, 6th, and 7th dimensional energy. And they were giving us a lot of information about what's happening on Earth. Why did you show him all of these glimpses and different perspectives today? He needed to be validated into what he knows is true. Why was it important for him to see so many different perspectives of what's happening? He likes to see the bigger picture. He likes to see how it all connects and fits in. I'm curious about the energy that he holds now. First, you took him to that life under the surface, right? And they've been waiting for him and his energy for 1,000 years. He was bringing that energy and healing through raising the vibration of the plants and the beings there. What else would you like him to know about that? That's his role. It's working with the plants in the future. There's a synergy there. It's going to change the life forms, the plant life on this planet. He knows how to work with them. He is connected to them. He is a powerful co-creative force. It's going to change the vegetation on this planet. That is his role. What is his connection to those beings that were inside the planet? He has worked with them before on different planets. He is a creative influencer. He changes frequency. He creates new energies, new expressions of life forms. He calibrates beings and animals and the planets so they live in harmony, in a new state, in a balanced state. That is what he does. Is there anything else you would like him to know about this and how it pertains to his work right now? He is transitioning into this naturally, and he is following its calling. He's being led down this path. It's already clear to him. It's just going through the motions and connecting the dots and following the path. He already knows what's coming. He needs to be patient because it's going to happen, but he needs to be patient. He is so excited about going into that sometimes he wants to escape the reality right now, knowing that this is what's going to happen. It's hard for him to stay in one world and also be in the other one that seems so different. And he's trying to hold two worlds together at one time. And sometimes it's difficult. He needs to just go slow and be patient and know that the things will line up when they are ready to line up in the right time, in the right order. Patience. What would help him practice that patience? Being on earth, slowing down, not thinking so much, not doing so much, just being in that place, being in that receptive place, but connecting to the earth, being on the ground, being on the land, in silence. That's all. He's already connected. He just needs to slow down. The focus on all the things in his life are just not as important as this other piece. And especially now, now's the time to do this. It kept being reiterated how soon this shift is happening. Would you say the likelihood of this happening within the next 2 years is pretty high? I would say most definitely. All right. How about within the next year? I would say it's happening now. We are in that transition now. The energies are changing. We are in this process. It's not a matter of waiting. There's going to be more energy coming. It's going to intensify. It's happening now. It's just going to intensify. We are releasing so much now. It feels like it's just a continuation. It is not separate. It's a building and then a culmination and an expansion at the end. It feels like it will be soon, within a year or two. Beautiful. Now, he was shown his wife really struggling a bit more with the energy than he was. And then the beings from the higher dimensional planet were letting him know that she's kind of at a tipping point right now, that she hasn't quite chosen whether she believes in it or not. Is there anything you would like him to know about assisting his wife in any way, shape, or form, knowing that this is all free will, that that's assumed? Anything else that you would like him to know that he doesn't already know about helping his wife? Just show her love. Show up in love. Hold her. That's it. That is it. Thank you. Now, he had some questions today about his work and how it's changing and expanding and what he should be focusing on. What would you like him to know about his work? That he doesn't have to know how it's going to change, that if he just shows up in the energy and the awareness that he has, that he can trust that everything's going to unfold in front of him. He doesn't have to know or pay attention to any of those details. Just keep showing up in the highest way that you can. Know that things are going to change and that they're changing quickly and that you're taken care of. Always let go. And that same question for how to help his wife as this transition unfolds with the work. You need to do more to support her role. She needs help. She needs you to do more of an active role. It's basically to help her to show up with love. And even if you don't believe that that's what's needed, that's what she needs. And so if you can help with that, it's not for you, it's for her. Okay, do you wish to give him an example? I just see the paperwork. Do the action steps. Do the things that take some of that burden off of her plate. Good, thank you. And what will that result in when some of that burden is taken off of her plate? How will that affect her? She would be less dense. She will be more creative. She will be able to process more without having the heavy weight of all the things to take care of. It allows her process to open. Thank you for that information. Thank you so much for that. Now, he wanted to know about his specific role for the transition to the new earth. Anything else you wish to add that than what you've already shown and shared with him? You are anchoring the light from the higher dimensions on this planet. The more you can hold that frequency and ground it on this planet, everyone will benefit. That is your focus. Then everything will unfold and you will know what to do. You don't have to know anything. Is there anything that he should be adjusting in his life in order to hold more of that energy and ground it more? He puts a lot of attention and focus into helping people around him, and they are going through their own experience, and they are not able to use this help at this time. He needs to let them go and not invest so much energy in supporting in the way that he is supporting. We are in the process, and people are choosing, and he tries to help them more than he can help them. Do you wish to give him any examples, or is it very clear to him? It's very clear to him. He knows. Okay. He asked, what does the higher self want him to know at this moment? It's spaciousness, emptiness, trust. There's a tendency for the mind to look for things external, and you just don't need it. That's the past. That's old. It's the survival mechanism. It's humanity trying to figure out what's happening. And you already know deep within you what to do there. There is nothing to know. It's time to let go and trust. Beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to tell him about the launch of his new business? It's the direction you're already going into. It's calling you. It's not quite ready to move forward, but you are creating it. You are moving in that direction. You are creating the steps. It's all being laid out, and then something will happen, and you will just know it's not quite there yet. Or is there anything else you would like to tell him about transitioning out of his old business? Yes, it's very sticky and uncomfortable for him right now. He feels trapped and stuck in this place. He feels very trapped here, as if there's nowhere to go and it's dimming his light. He needs to remember and cut through all of that and just remember the higher truth of what's happening, that this is just temporary. It's affecting him in a big way, watching people around him suffer while he tries to hold the frequency. It's because he's too committed to other people. He's allowing them to affect the energy in his life, and he needs to let that go. It's not good for him to be affected by that. It's for him to hold the light no matter what's happening around him. That will help everyone around him in a way that's much more profound than what he's trying to do. By letting go, he's actually supporting them more deeply and supporting himself and everyone around him. And I know that's an easy enough term to say for him to let go, but is there anything you would like him to do in order to let go that would make it easier for him? He needs to have people move on that aren't in resonance with him. He needs to take action proactively, and he knows, but it's scary because other people are involved and it impacts so many people. If it was up to him, he would do it in a heartbeat, but he considers other people and how that disrupts everything else. But he is moving into a different state of frequency, and people around him that are there need to be in support of that frequency. Otherwise, it just becomes a drag and it's not worth it. There's people that need to go. He doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know what to do. He feels it so clearly, but doesn't know what to do, how to do it with everyone involved. There's more. He has to stand in his power and his truth and just do it. Do what he feels is right and true. His issue is he considers how it affects everyone else, even though his truth is so clear, and he needs to act on that truth, knowing that it's in support of all the beings. He doesn't want to see more suffering, but it's holding him back. Thank you for explaining that. Do you have anything else to add to that? When he creates a frequency there, the people that are in alignment with that will come, and the ones that aren't will go. So the higher, the more you focus on your frequency and holding a certain vibration, everything will take care of itself. He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to be clear and true to that vision. In that way, everything will move with the least amount of effort. He already knows this, but he hasn't integrated all of it together. It's about having a consistent frequency, and he waxes and wanes depending on how other people are affected. And that's what's happening with their life and how it intertwines with his life. And he just has to let that go. It is so simple, but he cares about other people a lot and it impacts him. That brings me to the next question about his feeling like he needs time off work, possibly 2 months, just to process and recharge his batteries. He wants to know, what should he do? What is needed at this time to recharge his purpose and his batteries and his excitement for life beyond what you've already told him? It's important to take time away for what is happening and what is going to happen. It's critical that he has that time and space to adjust to the new frequencies and also to adjust to even more what's coming, even more that's coming. It's critical. He needs to find a way to take time away. It's really important. He just doesn't know how to do it. He feels stuck where he's at right now. So, what advice would you give him on what steps to take to do that? For now, you can just take a week off here, take a week off there. 2 months is too chaotic for other people around him. So he needs to take small, little pieces a week at a time, and then another week here and another week there. So smaller increments at a time. That's still super critical to take that time. There's so much happening at an energetic level that it needs his attention. Very good. When should he start that process? Now. It's so critical. Okay. And what should he make sure to do or not do during that time frame? Let it be. Be in the creative space. You don't need to think. Just let your consciousness expand. Feel the freedom. Feel the joy. Focus on why you're here. It will help. It will help tremendously to keep focused on the higher aspect and not on the mundane and the 3D things that are collapsing and falling away. Focus on where the energy is. Beautiful. Thank you for that advice. Now, he mentioned a vision, a very clear vision that he keeps having. He asked let's see. Oh, he says maybe it appears to be a parallel or future self in a different place. And he sees it with the open buildings and in a tropical setting. And he said they're coming more and more. These visions are building up the excitement. What would you like him to know about that? What does it mean? And why is he being shown that vision? This is what his future holds. It is being created. It's the next evolution. It is completion in a way. It's not here yet, but it will be. It's in the new earth. His role is going to be different, and he's going to lead people into higher frequencies. That's it. He has many roles, but he's going to be working with the people and the plants and the land in a way that's new and unique, and that will help balance all the new energies together so that we all live in a harmonic state. It's the next evolution. It's the future. We are showing him this so that he knows that he can hold that energy and that light, and he can know that this is coming. It helps boost his energy and excitement. It's the future. Very good. Thank you. He asked, what else should he know about the challenges that he'll encounter as he makes these shifts? There's going to be more challenges. They are going to intensify all over the planet with all the people. And he's been training for a long time to be able to be stable no matter what happens around him. That's what we've been trying to show him, is that it doesn't matter what happens on the outside. It matters what you're holding on the inside and how you hold it. Expect that many more things will change, and lots of it would appear to be crazy. Things will change, but to not be caught up in the illusion. It's a test. It's a test to see if you can hold that strength, hold that light, hold that awareness, no matter what happens around you. He's been training for this for a long time. Things are going to intensify. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Now, on from that higher dimensional place, that planet, they were really wanting to give us the message or give him the message about the earth being a hologram. What else would you like him to know about that and why it's important for him to know that? It's part of the training of the souls to go through this process. It's an accelerated growth and learning opportunity. It's like a game, but it is also real. It's an accelerated platform to expand in such an intensive way. It's much faster this way, but do not get caught up in the illusion of it. It's for a different purpose than what people think it is for. It's for accelerated consciousness. It's to accelerate into this next place. And the more you can focus on that, the more clear and focused your energy will be. Thank you for explaining that. What happens after the hologram? Will this whole experience be a hologram, or will there be something outside of the hologram that he experiences? Everything is a hologram. There will be another hologram. It's how consciousness works. We create it from our mind for whatever experiences we need, and then it changes to the next for whatever experiences we need. It's all about consciousness. It's all about expansion. It's all about returning to light. Thank you. He said that at least 5, if not more people have stopped him mid-sentence and told him that they see him on stage with a lot of people speaking maybe another language. And then he also mentioned that light language has been coming through. What would you like him to know about those 2 things? It's happening now. You are being prepared to share information that many people won't be able to hear, but the ones that are ready to hear will receive this energy in a different way into their bodies. It's a way to communicate light and bypass the ego to go right into their cells. It's a transmission of light, and it's happening now. Even when you're in your house doing this, it is affecting people. The more you do this, you are sharing this energy with people. They are receiving it already. You are already doing this. It feels like the stage. It may not be a stage, but the people that are receptive to it are feeling the information. They are already receiving this information. Is there anything you would like him to know about the headaches that he has experienced? It's from the change of frequency. He is bringing in lots of new energy, and the body has to calibrate. It's much easier now than it was before. The headache shouldn't continue too much longer. He has integrated a lot of this already. It's all frequency. Why did he get sick and have a headache right before our session? Is there anything you want him to know about that? It's just a cleansing and a purification. It's in preparation for the energy that's coming in. He's clearing out so much of what's not needed, and it's a detox. It's moving out the old. It's recalibrating to a different frequency. It's part of the process. Very good. Thank you. Do you have any final messages for him today? He knows what to do. He just needs to be confident and trust. He's ready for whatever challenges arrive. And that is the end of our session. This beautiful session with this chiropractor who is moving into kind of a new line of work, moving away from his established practice. And you got a beautiful glimpse into some of the stuff that may be happening on Earth in the future and now, and the different perspectives of it. I found that this information was very expansive, very beautiful. It helps remind us what we need to focus our attention on. And again, to let go of anything that's stopping that from happening, let go of anything that's not in alignment with our purpose and our frequency. Whether it's, watching certain shows or paying attention to certain people who are of lower frequency, doing certain habits that no longer serve us, or having different thoughts and beliefs that don't serve us. Letting go of anything that is not in alignment, because that messes up the energy. That's why there's so much recalibration going on right now, because it's not focused energy, right? So the more we can focus our energy on what we're really here to do, and most of us who are listening to this do know what we're really here to do. So as long as we let go of the things that are pulling us back, like a rubber band, then we are going to have a smoother process with this energy. All right. We all are affecting this. Thank you for listening to this session today. We need you out there. We really do. We're all a big part of this process, and this is exciting stuff. It always is. Yes, it's a different perspective. All of these sessions do have different perspectives of what could or will happen to Earth. So take what you will from it, leave what doesn't suit you, and please don't listen to timeframes. I can't reiterate that enough in as many different videos as I've done. Timeframes come, they go, because as you see, we're always cautioned about that this is a collective process, right? It's not just us doing this. This is collective, but they always give us advice on how to speed it up. Let go of what is holding you back. Let go of what is not in alignment. Focus on why you are here, not the 3D junk that's pulling you, that's distorting your purpose here. Focus on why you're here. Also have fun. Okay. So much love to all of you out there. All right. Take care. Much love. Bye-bye.